What is my crypto bull run price prediction for a coin like Stellar XLM? I've gotten this question a ton of times, and currently, Stellar XLM is one of the most popular cryptocurrencies, sitting at the 15th spot in the entire crypto rankings, right now at 43 cents a coin, $13.1 billion worth of market cap, and today it's not really doing too much, down 4% or so, but I'd say so is the entire market. I mean, a couple of coins here are up, but as you can see over the past hour, everything is looking red, and mostly the altcoins are all down like about 5% or so here. So nothing really out of the ordinary, but let's dive into it. So first of all, what is Stellar about? There's actually a lot of coins similar to Stellar in the sense that they all have a specific goal: changing the payment landscape. And I've stated on multiple different occasions throughout the past couple of years that if we're thinking of the top 10 cryptos in 10, 20 years from now, there's a very high probability that at least 7 of those 10 will be payment-related coins. And Stellar right now has another interesting functionality. It basically was founded by the same guy that founded Ripple XRP, which right now is the 3rd in the crypto rankings. And basically, whenever XRP goes for a massive move, Stellar usually follows. But very recently, XRP has gone on a run that can only be described by just looking at it, man. Look at what just happened, right? Absolutely crazy, going from 50 cents to $3.50 in the span of 2 months. And many people are wondering if a coin like XLM will follow suit. I mean, why has it not done as well? Because recently, if we're taking a look at the price, it's been doing good, sure, but the trend basically has still not been broken. And that basically is meaning that every single cycle thus far, XLM just kind of keeps going lower and lower and lower. And right now as it stands, XRP broke out of that multi-year downtrend, that 7-year downtrend or so, and XLM attempted it, but basically got right back in, and right now is slowly but surely climbing back up there, but we've basically not beaten it yet. We're still on the course upwards, let's call it. However, that is all the dollar terms. I keep liking to basically tell people to look at XLM versus Bitcoin, just like how I described it with XRP. But one thing that becomes quite apparent on the USD chart that we just showed is, first of all, that the breakout is still yet to happen. We still have quite a lot of gains to go this season, because usually every single cycle the price just beats the old price. But since Ripple got into a lawsuit with the SEC and XRP and XLM are quite similar, 2021 XLM also didn't do that well. This season, though, I believe there's not that much downwards pressure anymore. I mean, the SEC is shifted and all these things are now different. So a lot of that pressure is now gone. And that makes me realize, man, right? We have to really not think about it in dollar terms, because it's hard to say how undervalued it now has become throughout time. But you can only kind of measure that and see that when you start looking at how Bitcoin has performed throughout this time, right? Because at the time when XLM got to, let's say, $1, for example, what was Bitcoin at that time? And then if you look at that chart, I guess it becomes more easy to spot where we're probably headed next. Anyway, so if we're looking at the XLM chart, I think this is always the easiest thing to tell people, or just at the coin really in general. I personally believe it will go back to old levels of market cap, and that is relative to Bitcoin, not necessarily just the same values, but relative market cap sizes in comparison to that of Bitcoin. And if we're taking a look in terms of price here, Bitcoin versus XLM, so XLM denominated in Bitcoin, we take the current value of 413 or so Satoshi, and we look at the highest value. To get to the highest value that it once was, it would be from here on roughly a 17x, right? So plus 1600%. But we don't really think that XLM will go back to the highest levels which it's ever been at versus Bitcoin, because this might have been a glitch. I don't think so, though. I think this is just the time where it hit the all-time high and was a bit out of proportion greedy. So we take like an average high value. For example, let's just see here, between January of 2018 and December of 2018, so the entire year, an average but high value would be roughly here, right? Let's just take this number right here. Very, very high, but very attainable, not an outlier of sorts, because again, it's a number that was hit multiple times throughout the year, which from this point on forward would be roughly a 10x or plus 900% from here. And the reason I am pointing this out is because this is not asking XLM to overtake other coins that it never has done before. It's basically going back to values that XLM was once at in the past. Again, and that from here would be a 10x. So XLM going to roughly $5, something like that from here. And that is basically keeping Bitcoin at the $100,000 price tag that it is at right now. If Bitcoin was also able to do a double from here, that also doubles our XLM price target from $5, let's say, to $10. And if Bitcoin is able to go to $300,000 a cycle, again, just putting XLM at the same spot as before, that puts XLM now also at a 3x. So let's just call it $15. However, there's another added layer, right? Today, we're not talking too much about the deep utility and about what partnerships they've got. But let me say this. With the current regime in the US and the way things are shaping over, it kind of seems as if coins along the lines of XRP, XLM, a lot of the old gainers, a lot of the US-based coins are going to have themselves a pretty beautiful run. Now, if we're taking that into consideration, then indeed it might be worth looking at the higher numbers of market cap or the higher relative prices, and then we could actually potentially be going higher than a 10x at peak levels, just because maybe this run XLM will get even more appreciated than it has before. But I don't like to kind of go out of that or from that. I like to kind of put the base pretty low, what I think is pretty attainable. And again, if you want to put it really, really low, I'm going to put I'm going to say even at a really, really low point, this right here is very achievable. Let's just call it about an 8x or so. And then a Bitcoin goes to 250,000, 8x, and then a 2.5x. You get it. Go into, let's say, $10, $15 or so in XLM. It ain't that crazy, in my opinion, as a baseline in case nothing really crazy happens. But if things get better, right, if it gets all of a sudden a new wave of attention or Bitcoin goes way above 300,000, this could also have a crazy recovery session. And remember, guys, that relative to Bitcoin is so important because, well, all these coins have gotten to some crazy prices before, and we're thinking, oh, it needs to beat its all-time high. But there's also a replacement cost. Would it have been better to hold, for example, Ethereum than it would have been to hold XLM? If we're taking a look at Ethereum, for example, here, we can see that if you had switched your XLM for Ethereum a few years ago, then as at this point, you would have basically lost, or I should say, if you kept your XLM, you would have lost 91% of the value over time. To get back to the high values, you can see it would be roughly a 12x from here to get back to Ethereum relative terms. So that is, again, if you had Ethereum, $100 in Ethereum back then and $100 in XLM, relatively, they could have both gone up, sure, but Ethereum did basically 10 times better than XLM did throughout the last couple of years. And I kind of think that there's some there's some relieving that needs to be done. You know, there's a little rally necessary to kind of make up for all the damages here, so to speak. Not a guarantee, but I'm just saying I kind of want to see it. Regardless, over on Blofin right here, I don't have any XLM position open. We right now are waiting for the XRP breakout, funnily enough. On Bybit, I do, but if you're looking for a platform to trade on, I think Blofin is actually one of the easiest ones to go for, as I believe you can use it from anywhere in the world. And if not, you should definitely just use a VPN. But you can see, we also, and this is also what I do for XLM, by the way, but just not on this account, and I didn't feel like opening it up, but I'll just tell you here. What we do is we basically get ourselves a position in, for example, a coin like XLM, XRP, coins we believe in for the longer term, and hopefully it goes into profit straight away because they're longs. If not, we basically wait for the price to go lower and lower and lower, and we buy in hard, right? We make sure that we basically buy in more and more and more and get the possibility to buy ourselves more and more and more, so that on the way down, right, we can get ourselves bigger and better positions and lower average prices, so that on the way up, we can sell that again to make juicy profits. And here, for example, for XRP, you can see we put in about 250K, something like that. Right now, it's at about $30,000 worth of profit, so definitely not too good, not too bad. But as XRP hopefully gets itself a juicy breakout here, this will make us tons of money. Now, on the flip side, when it goes down, this might look scary to people, but you got to understand that I don't mind this number going to minus 40, minus $150,000 or so, because I know I'll be adding millions of dollars to this position to basically make sure that once it goes back up, we're going to really, really win big. We've done this for a long time in bull markets. It works beautifully. It only works for coins that you really do believe in, though. But in coins like XLM, XRP, ADA, all those ones, I kind of believe I can't lose with them. Just as it now described, they're quite undervalued in relative terms, especially versus Bitcoin, versus the dollar, but versus Bitcoin, very much so. And that's why I think from this point on forward, it is not that much worth it to hold primarily Bitcoin. but mostly just for these alts. Bitcoin is more certain, right, of doing well, sure, but these alts will make us way more gains, and XLM is one of them that I really, really love. Again, my own price prediction I just put forward. I think it's going to do some many multiples of where it is at today, especially if they catch themselves a better grip in the market because of, for example, a new SEC, a new crypto task force, or just a renewed found love for these older coins, which happens every few weeks now, it seems. Anyway, XLM on a good journey, still very bullish on it, still holding a ton, still excited about it. It's always a little way off between XRP and XLM, so I kind of feel as if both are going to do the same thing. XRP thus far has done way better. Maybe it's time for XLM to go on that rally though, to basically even out the playing field again. We will see. But that's about it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you press the like button if you did, and put that notification bell on so you're always going to be notified whenever something crazy happens.